We draw a bigger crowd than Kamala Harris, don't we? It feels so good to be around all of you. I was in Chicago this last week, so you didn't have to go there. We already defeated one presidential candidate, so we might as well now defeat another one. And what an honor, what a time to be alive in the most important election of our lifetime. I'm traveling the country, going to college campuses, we're organizing in the grassroots, we're talking to so many voters that know it is time for change. They know that something is wrong. They're tired of sending $200 billion overseas to Ukraine while we can't secure our southern border. They're tired of seeing our homeless vets while we prioritize foreigners that come into our country. By the way, what an insult to the legal immigrants in this country that we allow illegals to get luxury hotels. They know that something is wrong. And many of you waited hours and hours in line. By the way, who here was waiting in line overnight? We saw that. Right up here. 24 hours in line. Because you know you are part of something bigger than yourself. You know that you are part of the most exciting, diverse, powerful movement in the history of this country. This movement is not about Republican or Democrat. This movement is not about conservative or liberal. And I think you're going to see that on display in a little bit, maybe. This movement is about the citizens versus the oligarchs. This movement is about we the people versus the ruling class. This movement is about America versus the globalists. This movement is about all of us. You can see it. They're terrified because they've lost control. They've lost control of the narrative. Today, we saw the next chapter being written. You understand you're living through history being here today. You see, Kamala Harris, Barack Obama, and the Democrats, they say, vote for us, we won't improve your life, but keep on giving us power because we're going to lie relentlessly. We will raid your home and put you in prison if you disagree. Their idea of democracy is installing a candidate that no one has voted for. And the old Democrat Party is dead. How many former Democrats do we have here tonight? Raise your hand. God bless you, God bless you, God bless you, God bless you. About what they used to stand for. The new Democrat Party is about power. The new Democrat Party does not love the country the way that all of you do. And how amazing was it today to see Bobby Kennedy Jr. endorse Donald Trump? Donald Trump was convicted in a show trial. We had the earliest debate ever. Donald Trump was shot and survived, and by 2 centimeters our country lived. We got a new candidate. And maybe most remarkable of all, a Kennedy has endorsed a Republican. scared because they're supposed to have a monopolistic control. You saw the DNC. Watch us and obey. Watch us and obey. We're a movement of free thinkers. We don't agree on everything. We have different opinions. That's why our movement is going to win. In the Democrat Party, they say disagreement is not allowed. They don't believe in free speech. They don't believe in the free discourse of ideas. I think it's a wonderful thing that we can say we might disagree on the small stuff, but we agree on the big stuff. We agree that we should prioritize American citizens over foreigners. We agree that it is a constitutional right that you should be able to speak, that the government should not be able to spy on us without a warrant. We agree that every human being is made in the image of God and deserves protection. Divinely inspired when they wrote the United States Constitution. The small stuff we can disagree on, but the differences are dramatic, and that is why we need to extend an olive branch to the Democrats in your life, the Democrats that still have a little bit of a free think. Now, I'm not talking about the Democrats that got the 9th booster shot and wore a mask while they shouted. I'm not talking about those Democrats. I just spent a couple days with those Democrats in Chicago. They were bragging about how many booster shots they got while they were waiting in line. I'm not exaggerating. I'm talking about the Democrat right now that is working as an Uber driver. I'm talking about the registered Democrat that is working with their hands to serve you food, and they cannot afford groceries. And maybe the only interaction that they will have with our movement is when you say, "How you doing?" "Yeah, I can barely get by. I can barely get by." And you should say, "You know what? If you vote for Donald Trump, you're actually not going to be taxed on your tips." Is growing and ascending because we all agree on the big stuff. We agree that the people are the sovereign in this country, and we've seen in the last 30 years the uniparty on full display. You know where the wealthiest counties in America are? They're all around Washington, D.C. 8 out of 10 of the wealthiest counties in America. So basically what they do is they tax you into oblivion. They make everything more expensive, and inflation is a tax, by the way. They take all of that money so that they can get richer and wealthier around the kingdom of Washington, D.C. And what do they produce? All they produce is more regulations, rules, and customs, and wars that put you in more jeopardy. A $6 trillion budget while we have to close down our factories. And they thought they could get away with it. And this is why they fear the man we are here to support today. Because it's more than just that he supports the right things. It's that he had the brilliant and uniquely American idea to bring all of you in the room where the deals are negotiated. Where you can sit at the table. And they hate that. They hate it. Because you're not supposed to be involved in this. You're supposed to just kind of be on the vote for me every 4 years, give me more political power, and stay out of my business. You're not supposed to be aware of what the spending bills are. You're not supposed to care that our communities are being overrun by people who were never invited here, that newcomers are squeezing our social safety net. And what has happened is we are seeing an explosion in citizen participation. And this rally, you look around, this is incredible, is only a starting point. But what they will really fear, you know what the Democrats are going to be terrified? They're going to be terrified if every single person here makes a pledge and says, "I'm going to go find 100 new voters, and I'm going to go make sure they vote." We have nearly 16,000 people and thousands of people outside. Look at the final count. If everyone here just found 10 new voters, that would be 160,000 new voters here in the state of Arizona, nearly 16 times what the ballot shortage was in 2020. You want to make it too big to rig? Let me tell you the open secret of this event. This room can deliver the state of Arizona for Donald J. Trump. I'm to make sure that my brother, my sister, my aunt, my uncle, my aunt, my cousin, my Uber driver, my waiter, my waitress, are you registered to vote? Nah, it's a waste of time. No. I'm not asking you to storm the beaches of Normandy. I'm asking you to fill out a form, fill out a paper, put it in the mail. 5 minutes, and I better never hear you complain about inflation again if you don't fill out that ballot. On October 7th, which is tragically the anniversary of the terrible massacre in Israel, ballots go out in the state. Ballots are going to be scattered all across the state. What the Democrats do is they will deploy thousands of paid operatives to go find those ballots, to try to chase them and get them into the system.
I'm sure they will.
Now, I'm not here to try to change your method of voting if you want to go vote on election day. All for it, I get it. But I am going to say, for the plumber, the electrician, the welder, for the person that's never voted before, we want them to hopefully try to vote early than not vote at all. For the people that never vote, it's a waste of time, it's whatever, say, hey, knock on their door. Can you get this piece of paper and put it in the mail? Or how about this? If we say that everything's going to work perfectly, remember what happened in 2022 when half of all the machines failed, and Kerry Lake should be governor of this state with all those machines actually? So if you are looking for a way to get involved, if you say, Charlie, I can't take it anymore, I'm tired of being a spectator, I want to be a participant, we have to flood the zone. And remember that election day is the last day of voting, not the first day of voting. Think of it this way. Our supporters are so fired up to vote for Donald Trump. Shouldn't we give our movement more days, not less days, to go vote for the 47th President of the United States? And how tragic would it be if we flood the polls on only one day, and the machines go down, and we have 4-hour waiting lines, and the single mom that wants to vote for Donald Trump says, oh, that line is too bad, I bet Trump wins anyway, and we fall 10,000 votes short. If you are willing to wait 4 hours in line, God bless you, because many of you just waited 4 hours in line to come to this rally. But we have to think and remember, this movement expands to people that don't have the time, the capacity, the energy, or the spirit. I'm going to close with this. This election is the hardest I've ever worked towards a single objective in my life. We've done a lot of things at Turning Point, by the way. Largest high school program in the country, largest college program in the country, now the largest ballot chasing operation in the country. And thank you for all of you that have supported it. It's absolutely amazing. Donald Trump alone will not carry this election. Think about how much he's already done and how much he's been through. He's taken the entire country and he's put it on his back. Try to take his business empire away from him, sue him, slander him, indict him. He has sentencing coming up in September. He's been shot. Let me just say one other thing on this. I believe that was the most witnessed televised miracle in history. What will be the differentiator? Because the Democrats are already saying it's going to come down to a couple 100,000 votes there. Here's the difference maker. In 2020, we fell 41,000 ballots short. So I want you to think back to 2020 of what you didn't do, of the door you didn't knock on, of the friend you didn't pester to get the ballot in, of the friend that you didn't text. And then I want you to do that, and then I want you to double it. The difference maker is this: we will be outspent. The media will lie about our movement. They will lie about Donald Trump, but they can't control you. And they know it. There will be fake polls. There will be suppression polls. But this election will be a testament that the fighting spirit of the American people is alive and well. That we're willing to do the work. That the conservative grassroots are willing to go out in 106-degree weather and knock on the door of the single mom and say, let's get that ballot in. Let's get that ballot in. You're going to keep on showing up until that ballot is in the mail. We have an amazing opportunity in front of us. It's not going to be easy. There will be ups and there will be downs. But I want you to remember this moment. I want you to be fired up and encouraged, because you are not alone. You've been gaslit these last 4 days watching the DNC. And today we put on full display the strength, the width, the depth of this incredible movement. I can tell you, looking at where this country is and what would happen if Kamala Harris becomes president, price controls, open borders, maybe World War III. Thankfully, that's a new one. They're chanting crazy, crazy Kamala. It's a new one. By the way, I wouldn't expect anything different. It's a group of young conservative men. You know, young men are the most conservative men. Today is our 2-year-old's birthday. And I look at my daughter, and that is my why. For those that are parents, you know exactly what I mean. Knock on that extra door. Go that extra mile. Talk to that extra friend. Because throughout voting month and culminating on the 5th of November, I believe it will go down as a day that people remember. As a day that is written about in history books. As the final battle, from the golden escalator on down, from defeating Hillary Clinton, from the nonsense of 2020, from Butler, Pennsylvania, November 5th, it all culminates, where we restore the promise that the founders gave us. And they said, hey, if the people want it, the people get it. And we, the people,